This is part 1 of my bake sale bake-a-thon, and we're starting off with the classic lemon drizzle cake. I say lemon drizzle, but I recently found out that it's only called a lemon drizzle if you drizzle lemon icing on top. Otherwise, it's a lemon loaf cake. So I was like, oh, I didn't really know that, because this is not just a little bit of lemon on. This is lemon infused sponge. So I've got lemon zest in the sponge. I have lemon extract in the sponge. And then we add a lemon sugar syrup to the sponge once it's baked. And then on top of it, we're going with a lemon drizzle on top with icing. So this is a really intense lemon cake, but fluffy, light, soft, sweet, delicious. Everyone loved it this time around. You can get this recipe on my website as a downloadable recipe e-card, or you can just continue to suffer without it and your life won't change much other than depriving yourself of the little bit of happiness that this lemon loaf will bring into your life. I've only got 2 loaf tins and they're both different sizes, so I had to make them separately. I had to bake those first and then make the final one after those 2 had baked, obviously. I'm squeezing the juice of a lemon and sifting my icing, because this is going to be the drizzle that goes on top, and it's so delicious. Even my mum liked it, and she's, Pakistani mums, man, they're picky, very picky. Right, setting that aside, I'm moving on to dollops of pistachio cream. I'm dolloping this pistachio cream onto baking parchment and freezing it, because I'm going to put those little dollops inside of my cookies shortly. My sponges are ready now, and I am drizzling on top the sugar syrup. This isn't to make it soft. This is just to infuse more lemon flavour into it. They're already soft enough. They're really fluffy cakes, but it just adds that sticky, lemony deliciousness. And then there was a little bit left, so I made like a little mini cupcake, and it was so good. I'll show you in a bit. Now I'm moving on to my cookies. Again, another recipe e-card that you can download from my website. This recipe is so adaptable. You can add whatever flavour you want. You can fill the cookies with whatever you want in the middle. And there's not a huge difference in cooking time either. I think you just got to be a bit smart and, test it with your oven, because this cookie bakes differently in different ovens. This recipe is a bit of a weird one, but it's delicious. And one of the things that makes it delicious is the soft brown sugar that I use, and the fact that I melt my butter before I add it in. It creates just such a nice nutty flavour when you melt your butter. And then I added to this particular mixture chopped pistachios and Belgian chocolate chips, because these are my pistachio stuffed cookies. And you'll see how I do this in a moment. To appreciate this beauty, I made a cupcake with the leftover lemon cake mixture. Oh my god. Look at how fluffy. That is stunning. My lemon cake is the one. I'm not lying to you. This lemon cake is something else. It's just so good. You got to try this recipe. If you like lemon, just give it a go. I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. It's absolutely delicious. Anyway, the cakes had cooled at this stage, so I went on with the icing. The icing takes a while to set, but once it's set, you can cover them. You can cover them in cling film so that they don't dry out. I do like to add more lemon zest on top. It just gives it that little pizzazz. It's like glitter. It's like edible glitter, but with lemon zest. This was the final sponge that I made. Again, drizzling a lot of that syrup on, and then set this aside. By the way, this takes forever because I'm trying to do 10 different recipes at once. But hey ho, this is how we do bake sales. Okay, so these are the cookies. I basically am now stuffing each one with the frozen pistachio cream balls, like the little heaped teaspoons of pistachio cream. And then I am rolling them in some chopped nuts and some chocolate. And then I'm just going to bake them for about 12 to 13 minutes, roughly. I'm adding more pistachio cream to the freezer because I'm making more cookies. And look how much that these spread. They're so big. But they're so nice because I like my cookies chewy, but also crunchy at the same time. So I like the centre to be chewy, but I like the outside, the edges to be slightly crunchy. And I like, they're a bit like Subway cookies. That's the only way I can describe them. I don't really eat them anymore because I like to make my own, but I used to love Subway cookies. They're so nice and chewy on the inside. And that's how I like my cookies, by the way. So if that's your thing, get this recipe on my website at ridgilyfoodie.com. Okay, cookies now cooling, and one of the things as a home baker is that you run out of space really quickly. So I've got these like cooling racks that are tiered, so you can just stack them on top of each other, which really helps. They are linked on my Amazon shop. A lot of the tools and the ingredients that I use all linked on my Amazon shop. You can click the link in the bio, including things like this lemon zester, the cooling racks, the scoop that I used for the cookies, all of those. Okay, now we're moving on to the chocolate cake. I have tripled my chocolate cake recipe in this video, and I'm chucking it all in together. One of the best things about this recipe is that you just put everything in the bowl at the same time. The dry, the wet ingredients, it doesn't make a difference. I don't really sift anything either. It kind of works. I mean, sometimes you do need to sift your flour. You might get little air pockets, but I do whisk for a long time. And because this cake doesn't have any butter in it, and I add milk and oil to this cake, it's really soft and really spongy and fluffy and just delicious. I've got 3 different sized baking trays here because my intention was to make some cake truffles. I am going to just like crumble the mixture up anyway, and then I was also going to make some cake jars, and that's why I just bunged it all in together. Here's me testing the pistachio cookie and having a couple of jars, a little break in between. It was to die for. Okay, jar break over. Next thing on the menu was the ganache. I'm making chocolate ganache. There's a kilo of chocolate here and the same quantity of double cream. That's how I make my ganache, and I just do it on the hob and let everything melt and incorporate slowly. Now, this is something that I'm doing for the first time. This is me trying to temper chocolate. I had some pistachio kunafa mixture made up from before. I had froze it, and I thought I might use it this time. And I thought I want to really learn how to temper chocolate. So I invested in a digital thermometer, what you saw me using there, that laser one. It's a laser thermometer, so it's really easy to use. I don't know if I did a good job of it, but that was me trying to temper chocolate. I'll show you what I did with it in a bit because I had to let it cool down fully. In the meantime, I thought, let me pack these lemon slices because they're going to dry out otherwise. So I cut them and packaged them individually. And then I went back to the chocolate that I was trying to temper and decided to fill these molds. And it was just the messiest, most difficult thing. I dropped the mold in the chocolate at one point, as you can see. Chocolate everywhere. It's so messy. And then the genius idea of, why don't you just cut them up? Like, it's silicone. You can cut it up and you can have more control over each cup that you're using. So I did that. I cut them up and it was so much easier and less messy. I mean, not that less messy, but it was less messy. And so I did that, and I was like, I've got a good feeling that this chocolate's tempered decent. Not amazing, but it's decent. It's better than what I normally do. But I had melted a lot of chocolate, so I didn't know how many cups I was going to make. I didn't know how much Dubai Kunafa mixture thing I had. I thought, if I have excess, I'll make some cake, like, tablets. I don't know what to call them. What would you call these guys? I just call them tablets because I didn't know what else to call it. Anyway, mess of chocolate is just horrible. It goes everywhere. So I was like, let me have a quick clean up. And then the cookies had been out for a while, and I thought, I better package them too because they'll probably dry out and nobody wants a dry cookie. So I packaged these and put them aside before going back to my Dubai Kunafa things. Okay, one of the things I really struggled with, I don't know if anybody can give me any tips, is just getting the mixture to the right level. Like, I was trying to fill them to the top, but then I didn't know if the chocolate would level out. But I think I didn't fill them enough. I think I should have had more Kunafa mixture and added a thinner layer of chocolate on top. But, I mean, who's complaining with more chocolate? I'm not. But I do like my kunafa mixture to be quite runny. I don't like it to be dry. I don't like the dried kunafa bars. Like, no, I'm not about that. Anyway, I filled these up and did my best to pop the air bubbles using this sugar base scribe. And then I pop them back in the fridge, allowed them to set. And the final ones that I had left over, I filled these with chocolate cake. So I'm just using a scone cutter, like a little cookie cutter thing. And I added some caramel to the bottom of each one, placed the chocolate cake disc inside, and then added the chocolate on top and popped these in the fridge. Okay, now you're going to have to come back tomorrow for part 2 because I can't fit it all in one video. See you tomorrow.